Hi, and welcome. We're the Weasley sisters. I'm Jessica, also known as Naturally Nitty, and this is the 272nd episode. Sorry.
That's exciting. I'm Allena, also known as Starnits. Today is December 3rd. This is our monthly podcast. If you are a first-time watcher, welcome. If you're a regular, thank you for coming back.
So grab your knitting, pull up a chair, and craft along with us.
So before we really get into this, a little I don't know, upkeep. We have been like really sporadic with our podcasting and we apologize.
Yes.
So we put it on our calendars to podcast the first Friday of every month. So hopefully we'll be more regular. It should be around this time every month. If you want to catch us live, you could watch us live, and we use StreamYard, so they should put comments up on there if you wanted to comment. Hopefully, I don't know exactly how it works. Because it broadcasts to YouTube and then goes YouTube live. Anyways, that's a thing. Just so you know, you can start finding us every Friday of first Friday of the month.
Yes.
Hopefully. So hopefully we'll be a little bit more regular.
One of these years we'll get it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when we first started, we were like every week, and then we were every 2 weeks, and now we're like every month.
Yeah.
So, or it's been since October since we podcasted. So we skipped November by accident, but it's been busy. So
Sure has.
do you have any mojo?
I do. So did I have the knitting machine last time?
No,
because that was October. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got a knitting machine, which I don't have right here. But it's a Centro. I got it on Amazon. It was like a really good deal. It's like maybe $50, I think. 48 stitch one. Kind of like the Addie King, only way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
And plasticky. Like, so, but it works. So I've been making hats for gifts for people and stuff. So like they're double knit hats that just cinch together in the middle at the top. And I bought a bunch of pom-poms off of Amazon. I'm not making them this year. Last year I made them. That was a pain in the butt. And I put them on. So this one's all sparkly.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I was doing different yarns. Oops, there's a cat here on the inside because, well, this one's not too bad. It's a little scratchy, but I figured for on your head. It's all acrylic because I'm giving them away mostly to like, I have a youth group that I'm leader of, and they're 6th grade girls, and I'm not using wool for them. Anyways, but this stuff is like red heart, so it's not as soft, but on the inside I have a softer.
I really like those striped ones.
I know, they're so fun. There's so many different ones. Let's see, there's some bluish ones.
That's so cool.
That.
And we were over there a couple of times, and she made the girl Bella a hat, and then Aspen a hat, and my husband Andy a hat. They're so awesome. Like, she's still showing them, and it's like really cool how the knitting machine works. Like, if you've never used one, it's really cool.
You just sit there and crank it, and it just, and like these hooks come up like, and they go around. Really? So Allena had seen, what company is it that has the sock knitting machine that's 3D printed?
Oh, Dean and Bean.
So
which I'm saving up to get one.
Yeah, so I totally want one of those, but I was like, I don't know if I'll like it, a knitting machine. And then I saw these ones pop up. I forget where I saw it, somewhere on Instagram. And I was like, that would be really nice for like charity knitting or gift knitting, when like I love knitting for people and giving stuff for Christmas. But like sometimes, like I said, for like 6th grade girls, I don't know if they're going to A, like it, or B, wear it or whatever. So like instead of spending 5 hours knitting a hat for them, I can do it in a half an hour or even less time. I think now that I've got the hang of it, I can crank them out pretty fast. But I thought I'm going to buy this and see if I even like it, which I do. It drops some stitches and it takes a little getting used to. And there's certain yarns that that machine doesn't like. Like I've tried the Karen 1 pound Love. It's a little bit thicker. It's more like an Aran weight, like a really heavy yarn, and it drops stitches all the time. So I try not to use that. But I found the big twist. I don't have any right here. It's behind me.
That is what Joanne's.
Joanne's, like it's big twist value, I think it is, which is most of what's on the inside of those. Even the red heart, the stripes, like sometimes it's a little finicky. Like I don't know. It likes certain yarns and works well with certain yarns.
Well, you figure
the
like
smoother it is.
Yeah, well, like Red Heart and the Karen 1 pound is that acrylic that you don't like to really knit with anyways.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it's feeling. But then you figure like the Karen,
yes, the softer stuff, the stuff you like. So
yeah. So,
but I like the fun stripes colors. So I was like, that's fine for the outside, and then I put the nicer acrylic on the inside. I've used hand spun with it. I didn't even bring it over here. I made headbands that like it's just a band and it twists, and you take the ends and you go like that, and then you sew through all 4 layers. And when you turn it inside out, it's like a cute little headband. I've made a couple of those. I haven't knit flat with it yet, but now
I looked up a ton of patterns for her.
I know I need to look them up. But yeah, so I've been having fun with that and turning them in for classes, which kind of makes me feel like cheating a little bit. But I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Just handed them all in. I've also been knitting, and I gave a bunch of them away. This is the only one I have left with needles. These chunky hats. I did one. I forget. Oh, well, a friend of mine, her daughter is friends with my daughter, and she's like a close family friend. Anyways, I've made her hats, and she wears them all the time. So I made her one last year, and I was like, I'm gonna make her another one. I actually ended up making her 2 because she like wears it all the time. I'm like, Gwen, you need to like switch them up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I made her 2, and then I had leftover stuff. So then I made some that were like this. The lighting in here is crap. I apologize for that.
Is that bulky yarn?
Yeah, it's like super bulky, yeah, or maybe not super, but it is bulky. So it's knit on I think 13s or 11s. I forget what I used, but it goes super fast. Just a twisted rib. This one I did a little bit Fair Isle, or not Fair Isle, but
it looks cool.
So I made a couple of them like this, and some that were stranded that had like little like V's going in. I don't even know how to say it. Anyways, I made 5. So that's what I've been knitting. That's what's finished that I've been knitting. Anyways, do you have any mojo?
I do. So when we last podcasted, I was making a baby vertebrae as a gift. Let me see if I have a picture. It's been given to the people who had a baby. They had a little boy. Actually, we were there. Oh yeah, for Thanksgiving, and the baby picture popped up.
Oh yeah,
because we were watching the Thanksgiving Day parade, and Andy was like from his phone playing it to their TV, and he got the text of the baby picture, and it popped up on the screen. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see if I can find a picture. So I just made that baby vertebrae. I don't know. I have to scroll. I used the Knit Picks Felici. There we go. And that's how it turned out. Just a little boy stripey.
Super cute.
Yeah. So anyway, that is something I finished. And then remember how I said I wanted to make a huge amigurumi with the big extra bulky yarn that they have everywhere? I did that in October. I made
this crazy.
Huge Totoro. It's huge.
It is huge. The pictures don't do it justice. That thing is huge.
I used like I think like 9 skeins. Like I had bought 7, of the blue. It's like a sparkly blue and then a sparkly white.
That's awesome.
And then I just made felt eyes because I tried crocheting them, but they weren't working. So it's huge and it's squishy. It took like the whole bag of stuffing, like the big bag. And it was so heavy. I thought it was going to be a pillow, but it ended up being like a toy that you just jump on for Aspen. So I made that for October. It was huge. And then I was doing a order mission, a whip order mission, because that was new. So I tried to finish some things. I finished one thing, this mystery gnome. And I'm sorry, it is like so bright. Like this pink is like washed out on the screen. It's like fluorescent pink. But this mystery yarn, maybe a year ago, Imagine Landscapes had the mystery gnome knit along for this one. I didn't sign up for her new one because I have so many gnome patterns and this is the only one that I've actually knit. I don't know why, because they're so much fun to knit. They're so cute.
I have a pattern or two and I have not made one yet because I don't know why, but they are cute.
Yeah. So this is one. It has a little kangaroo pouch on there, so its arms go in there. But so I finished that as part of my order mission. One of the only things I finished. And then I also knit this sweater for Aspen.
Love it.
It's the flax, and it's the 2-4 size because that's how their sizes go. Mm-hmm. I did the arms a little bit shorter than what the pattern called for because Aspen's arms aren't that long. But it fits in pretty good. And this was the Karen Big Cakes, which I think it might work in your hat machine, but it had like long color repeats and it was like a big cake. I have another one that I bought. They were at Joann's. This is not the same colorway, but I'll show you the picture. Mm-hmm. And so like, this is what it looked like.
How is it to knit with it?
It's actually pretty soft. It was really easy. And I got gauge for the flax, so it is worsted. And I just used the 6 and 8 size 8 needles like straight on. Cool. So it was really nice. So I love that the only thing when you're using these yarns that are striping, you have to like pull out for the sleeves if you want them to match at all. You know what I'm saying? So I like pulled out and separated and then added these 2 colors so that the sleeves would match. Yeah. Anyways, but I used about half the skein. So that tells you how much is in that big cake. I can actually tell you it's 10.5 ounces of fiber.
I'm going to be right back, but you can keep talking.
So 603 yards. So that's pretty cool. So I've made this sweater for Aspen. He loves it. But it's big enough that he can just take it off too. Because, you know, it gets cold in the winter. So those are all my mojos. Next up, we have whips. So I can talk about my whips. So also for my order mission, I was supposed to finish these socks, which I did not get to, but I am. I want to show you. I'm on the heel, the gusset right here. It's a toe up socks with a difference is the pattern. So you do the gusset on the bottom of the foot. And then, so that's where I am on those socks, which is way further than I was. And then I'm also working on this sweater vest for Andy. So I had the back done already. And then for the order mission, I was working on it, trying to finish, but I finished the one side because it's a sweater vest. But you can see this very dark wool. It's like a dark brown. It's an alpaca wool blend that I made for Andy. And then I'm on the other side.
You're making progress.
Yeah, the only problem is it's like a mistake rib. And so you knit the front and then on the back you do the pattern. So it's a knit purl. So you can't really see the difference. And I had to like rip out a bunch because I don't know, I just would get off.
Well, and with that dark yarn, it makes it even harder.
And my mind is just not able to process like patterns anymore. I don't know why. I used to be like so good at it and I just can't. So anyway, that is a work in progress that I'm working on. And I need to pull out. Remember last year I knit all those stockings and I have Andy's like halfway done.
Yes.
I need to finish his and make myself one for Christmas. Like seriously, why did I wait this long? I'm such a lazy bum. I should have put that as part of my order.
We all do it. I don't know.
But I only turned in 25%. I was probably about halfway on my order mission. But I mean, I made progress on it, so that's good. Like I made progress on my works in progress.
You did. I spun yarn for Joe in the summer for a sweater for him, and it is still hanging on my wall. Like it's nowhere near knit.
So the last thing I'm working on is a test knit for Shayna Lynn's designs.
I almost signed up for that, but I didn't.
This is her semantics. It's her new pattern. It's not like a secret. But I didn't start it. I needed to wait until I finished Andy's vest, which I think the last day for order missions was like the 20-something, 24th maybe. And when that came around, I was like, okay, I'm going to just start on my other thing because I'm like, this is not getting finished. Actually, I finished Aspen's sweater and then I started this. So this is where I am. I started it yesterday and that's my only last work in progress, which I do realize I need to do my stockings. I need to pull those out.
That's so funny.
Because
I have started a boneyard shawl.
Cool.
Out of some hand spun because I, like you, have issues with patterns and I do want to knit. So like this is simple enough that it's my like the girls are in basketball, so I can bring it. It's my purse project and I can just knit and not have to worry about it. I just have to count every like 12 rows and make a knit row. But I really do like this pattern. So yeah, that's what I got going on. I also actually started some mittens for a Secret Santa exchange, and she has no idea about this podcast, so I can talk about it on here.
Unless she follows, she's on Facebook. Okay.
Well, she is on Facebook, but I doubt she'll.
But she's friends with you on Facebook is what I meant.
Yes. Well, just recently. Anyways, so I'm like in the middle of a row.
Does she know that you're her gifter?
She's not supposed to, but she's one of the organizers.
Oh.
So I feel like I brought because we're doing like small gifts every week and then a bigger gift at the end. So like I feel like she probably figured it out because I brought a gift in. And
well, now there's those nice like Elfster apps where they like make your,
but I mean like handing it in, like she was there making sure everyone was like getting their own gifts, and like I had to like hand it to her and she's like, oh, like you know what I mean, so it's not so much of but it's still fun.
That's fun though.
Anyways, I bought some sock yarn from my local yarn shop, but I'm starting she likes dinosaurs, so the dinosaur isn't done, but I drew out my own little charts because I've done some Spilly Jane mittens before, and they just have like simple little whatever characters or shapes that they repeat over and over. So I made 2 dinosaurs. I hope you can tell what they are. Like a little brontosaurus and a T-Rex at the top here, kind of. It's, not the best.
Those are super fun though.
So I'm doing the dark green for the brontosaurus, and then I have like a brighter one for the T-Rex. It has some
like green change colors. That's really
cool. It's got some blue in there. But I figured that would be fun for the T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
it's trekking, but I'll have a lot left over. So
That's very cool.
yeah, probably enough for socks or more mittens or whatever. But yeah, so I'm hoping I can finish them on time. But these ones require some concentration. And yeah, that's what I got going on.
Okay. That's crazy. Like
Knit
we have
wise.
so much going on.
Just two. Let's see. I
Oh,
don't
you
have any
have his
spinning. I haven't spun in months.
sweater on there.
What?
You have Leah's sweater written down here?
Oh, yeah. So I've pretty much finished it and it is way too big and I need to rip it out.
Oh no. The one that you were holding the two yarns together?
Yes. Which, like, I knew it was going to be big and I told her this and she's like, yeah, I want an oversized sweater, and like did all the measurements. I'm like, this is how it's going to be. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm like, okay.
And then she tried it on?
I knit the whole thing. I seamed it together, like woven ends. And then she tried it on and she's like, I'm like, that's really big. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, do you not like it? Like, I wish she would have like said something like before I got finished, or at least before I seamed the thing together, so it would have been easier to rip out. Now I have to go back and like unweave in all the ends to like even rip it out. So it's just in a timeout right now.
Yeah.
It's quite huge. It's warm and fuzzy, like it's like a big huge blanket. You know those like comfy things that people wear? They're like hooded sweatshirts that are just like a blanket that you wear. That's basically what it is.
I actually saw a sewing pattern for that yesterday and I laughed.
People love them. Like my girls love them.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that needs to be ripped out, but I just don't have the heart to do it right now. And then she saw, well, she has been wearing my snail mittens, which are stranded mittens that I made years ago. And she's like, can you make me some? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sure. But like right now, I'm like, I don't really want to knit for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
on my list for a time. Okay.
Stranger just rang the bell, so I'm going to go let her out real quick.
Okay. So next up is You Spin Me Right Round, and I do have a little bit to talk about. So I am still currently in hibernation, not hibernation, but working on this loop bat that I started spinning. I'm like holding my wheel up so you can see. It's a loop bat that I started spinning at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool, which was in September. And I'm just like spinning it. I think I'll Navajo ply it or whatever. The colorway was Beach Club.
That's
so it had like greens and some like blues, like teal blues in it. So I'm like, that's just sitting here. I spin on it sometimes. But having a toddler, I just can't spin as much as I want. I can't even like knit as much as I want because he requires a lot of attention. He demands a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And then I also need to I finished spinning up this Jacob that I processed. Okay. I have two bobbins. It's lilac. So it's like a grayish brown. It's not brown and it's not gray. It's like a specific color in the Jacob sheep. So I got, and it was like a yearling fleece, like their first shearing. So it's like really soft and it just needs plied. And then I should have enough for maybe a sweater for Aspen or something. I haven't decided, but I have to ply it. So that is also sitting on hold for like ever. Let me see what else is on my list. Oh, so I had last time when we talked, I had dyed some tunis up, right? Mm-hmm. So I took the tunis and I made a bunch of bats with sock blend because I had a lot of like Firestar and nylon, which Firestar is nylon, it's just sparkly. And then I have when I go to places, sometimes I'll just buy random things, not random, but like oh, this is for blending. I have a drum carder. I should buy this. So I'll have like Firestar, like undyed Firestar. I had dyed Firestar, but I like used almost all of it up making these bats. So I made these like um sock blend bats with the tunis, because I looked in the fleece and fiber source book, and the tunis wool is soft and springy, but it would, I think it, like reading the characteristics of it, I think it would make good socks. So I blended it with Firestar or nylon. One, I had pulled out the colors, and like, because like I broke the dye when I was I dyed with like cake dyes.
Yeah.
And so I had broke the color, so like there was like a moss green, there was like some bluish greens, and then there was like this green, which is like the best color ever. I think I might keep this one for myself. But I blended it with like Firestar or nylon. And the one bat I found, I had this mint top, which it was like fiber infused with mint.
Ooh.
And so it was antibacterial and cooling. And I'm like, that's perfect for socks. So I made that. I put them in my shop to sell. But I have like one that I still have to finish. Like you can see, I have to finish the second half. Like I did like a live video in one of the groups I'm in on Facebook, on how I make my how I make my bats, basically, because I take it from a fleece, dyed it, cleaned it, dyed it, then carded it, or flicked it, then carded it, type of stuff. So I just was showing my process, which is why that's sitting there and it's not finished. So yeah, I made a bunch of those. So here are some things that this part is the part where I talk about my fiber stash enhancement, which I try really hard not to do, because as you can see, I have a ton. But I have some things to talk about that I forgot to talk about in our last podcasts. So I participated in Tour de Fleece in July. Yes, July. And I won, and I participated in the Shave 'em to Save 'em group because I was spinning that Jacob for it. So I won.
That's cool.
Fiber. So it's from Woolhalla, Tunis. They're in Arizona, and I will link to them in the show notes. But it's like a sample pack of different fibers in the Shave 'em to Save 'em. Like there's not like 4 ounces of it, but it's good to try like different. It's like a different sample pack, but that's what I won. And I didn't even know I was going to win anything. So it was exciting to win all this fiber. And this lady, she raises Tunis. So she sent like a pamphlet about her sheep. And I think it's really cool that the Tunis sheep is like this brownish red when they're babies, and then they're white.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When you grow up. And I really like the Tunis fleece that I was working with. It's springy and soft, and I spun up some and I really liked it. So yeah. So then I also forgot to talk about this. I did Wisconsin sheep and wool, which was at the end of September or the beginning of September. It was the beginning of September, because the end of September was Shenandoah Valley. So across the way from me at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool was this interlacements company. And the whole weekend I sat there looking at her fiber. So I didn't actually buy it. I traded for some bags for some of this yarn. So this is Polworth, and it's about 8 ounces. And this is like this beautiful like teal colorway. It's kind of showing washed out on the screen, but it's beautiful. So I had been staring at it all weekend, and she didn't have it sold. And so I like was looking at it, and she's like, well, we could trade, because I've been looking at your bags all weekend. And so she got some bags and I got some wool. And then this one is a Polypay and Dorset blend, also 8 ounces. And I haven't spun Polypay before which those are for uses. I think they use them for milk. They use them for their wool. They use them for their meat. Poly is 4, right? And I forget what the other thing that they use them for is. But so I got this one, and I haven't spun any polypay before, so I'm excited to try it. And then she was like, "Oh, I think the bags I want is a little bit more. So here, have this." And she like gave me this ball of fiber. She calls it her mystery mix, and it's just like the end of the fibers that she gets processed into this like mix. So I'm not sure what kind of wool it is, but she said it's a lot of fun to spin.
That's cool.
And so I traded with her. Let me see and I will also link to their website. I grabbed her card, but it's Interlacements yarn, and she's really nice. That's not all. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to. So then I did a WAFA sale in October, which is an online group, Wool and Fiber Arts, and I traded another bag. Like I traded for this with Creatrix fiber. Sorry. And this is the fiber. It's a bamboo merino. But what really is cool, it's like a grayish lilac color, is she natural dyed it with, she makes wine, and the skins and stuff that is left over when you press the grapes, she dyed it with the grape skins.
Cool.
And it's like this beautiful, like it's showing up like really light on there, and it is light, but it's like a purpley gray. It's so pretty. And then it's like shiny too because of the bamboo.
Yeah.
So I traded with her. So I didn't actually buy all that anything. I traded.
No judgment. That's totally fine. Trades are awesome.
So those are like stash enhancements that I've been meaning to talk about, and I kept forgetting, and I finally typed them in the show notes so I would talk about them.
Very cool.
And now I can put them away in my wall of fiber. So yeah. Anyways, that's my You Spin Me Right Round. Do you have any spinning going on?
I seriously have not spun in forever. Like I want to, and I look at things that I want to spin, but I just haven't had the time. And like you, I don't have a baby around, or toddler really. She's not a baby. But I have a puppy around, so she makes things a little bit
That
difficult.
is pretty much a baby.
Yes, she is a baby. I'm surprised she's not whining at me right now because I have her locked in the other room. That's why I've had to run off so much. She was upstairs chewing on some cardboard, and it's all over the upstairs hallway, so I'm going to have to clean that up later. She's now locked in her area right now.
Well, that's probably why she's
area. Don't feel bad for her. It's the kitchen, the living room, or the family room, and the dining room. So
yeah, it's pretty big.
She's good.
Which is probably why she's not whining at you, because she knows she's in trouble.
Yeah. She's probably just sleeping on the couch. Anyways, yeah, so I don't have any spinning. I did get, I don't know where, oh, it's right here. It's easy enough. I had won something for Blaine Fleece and Fiber. I don't know if you follow them. She has this like fellowship of the fleece, like she names all her sheep after Lord of the Rings people. And they're really cute and everything, but she like once in a while, or not once in a while, but on her site you can buy like a bale of hay for her sheep, and like and it's really cheap. It's like I think it's like $5 maybe or something, or like sheep cookies that she gives them, like treats and stuff, just because like it costs money to like keep sheep, and like you can't always sell wool enough to like for the upkeep of having a farm. And I really like that idea, and I was like, I'm gonna buy them some hay. So I did. I didn't even want fiber at the time because I have so much that I just need to get through on my own. So I didn't. Anyways, but I guess I didn't even know this, but I was entered into like a drawing of like if you bought the sheep some hay, she had a drawing, and someone would get. And this was like a couple months ago. Anyways, I won, so I picked. This is a Finn Suffolk
Oh, cool. I really like Finn.
And the name is Deer, but it's like super soft and it's a really pretty brown color. And it just came, well, maybe like a couple weeks ago. But
so you figure like the Suffolk is pretty soft in itself, but Finn is super soft. I like Finn.
Me too. That's I think I have some black fleece that was black Finn that I cleaned recently. Anyways, but that is my little stash enhancement right there. But other than that, I haven't spun. I don't know. I need to. I want to. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I have. Well, what are we on now?
Weaving? We are on weaving. Do you have any weaving?
No. Well, yes. So I'm gonna go like this. See that little loom right there?
Yeah.
I got it for $10 at Goodwill.
That's awesome.
A friend of mine saw it, or someone I think saw it and sent her a picture of it, and she didn't want it, and she passed it along to me. So I went and picked it up. It's missing a few parts, which I think I can fix for relatively cheap. And it's in pretty good shape, but I looked it up. It's like a $700 loom tabletop.
So it's like a table for harness.
Harness, Dorothy.
Leclerc
or Leclerc or something. Yeah. Something like that. Anyways, so nice little thing. It was like, looked like it had been in someone's basement for like a very long time. I cleaned it up a little bit. But yeah, so that came home with me. But for $10, I was like, I'd be stupid to pass this up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Anyways, so I haven't gotten around to fixing it or using it, but that's my thing. I also have, I'm going to go like that rigid heddle, this way, warped up that I need to finish. That was from last year. It's been like bloom for like ever. So I need to finish that. And then Leah has been wearing a cowl, one of those like just kind of crazy monster plaid cowls that I made a year or two ago. And she's like, can you make me one of these? So I was like, okay. So once I finish that, I'm going to make her one. But you know, the list is so long of all the things to do. Anyways,
you just need a whiteboard like hanging right there, or and then you can just make a list of all the things that they want you to knit.
I know.
For them. So
which I'd love to do, but there's like, you know, things around the house and stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of handspun, I don't know if I mentioned it, but what I'm knitting on, the Semantics Test Knit, I'm using handspun. So this is that epic mashup that I did with the bamboo or silk merino. And the pattern, she wanted 2 sock yarns held 2 fingering weights held together, or DK, and the yarn is DK. So I was like, is it okay if I do handspun? Because but yeah, so I'm using handspun. So I'm trying to use my handspun. So that leads to this. So it's December, or after Thanksgiving. Like I had my last show early in November. It was like a Kris Kringle market. So I kind of have a little bit of time off, if that makes sense. So I should be sewing, but I'm not. I am sewing.
You need a break every now and then, and that's okay.
And so I don't know if you can see behind me my loom. Oh, wait. Okay, this way. My loom, I have it pulled out. So I had moved it downstairs a couple of months ago. Sorry, Maddie just texted me. I had moved it down a couple of months ago. She keeps sending me Marco Polos, and I'm freaking podcasting. Anyways, I brought my loom down and I wanted to make stuff. So I pulled it out and warped up. I just pulled it out and then I was like, I'm going to do handspun. And so Jessica had made me a crazy cowl, I think for my birthday a couple of years ago. And I had been washing my coat and it was in the sleeve or something, and it felt it. So now it's a pillow. Um,
A beautiful pillow.
anyways, it's really cool. So I was like, I want to make another cowl. So I pulled out my bins of handspun. Like, I don't know if you can see behind me. I have plastic bins now because this is the lowest level of our house. So sometimes bugs get in. So I put all of my fiber and yarn in bins just to be safe. Not that I think there's moths or anything, but just I was feeling like the need to be safe. And I mean, there's lavender around everywhere too. Anyway, so I pulled out my bins and I like matched up some colors. I had a bunch and I was like, I had like at one time I had like probably 20 skeins, and I was like, I need to pare this down a little bit. And so I ended up with let me look, I have a picture of it. Maybe 6 skeins of fiber of yarn that I had spun, and it was all like worsted or Aran weight. So like the ones that you just spin and you have like one skein and you're not really gonna knit anything huge with it, though some of them were mashups, so they were I could have made like a shawl or stuff anyways, which I kind of made a shawl, just a different kind. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the picture of it, all the yarns that I used. Oh, I must have deleted it. I think it's on Instagram though. Anyways, so I warped it up and then I wove it. It's a 2 twill. So I had some blues and I have this, I don't know if you can see this like moss green right here. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a sparkly ribbon yarn that I got at a weaving store that I went to one year in Michigan, and it was like on clearance, and it was just this cone of it's over there, like it's this huge cone, like this big probably, of like this sparkly moss green ribbon silk yarn, ribbon yarn kind of. So if you ever need moss green ribbon yarn, let me know. I got a bunch. So I used some, and I just made like little accents on it. Like
I like that in there. It really makes it pop.
Yeah. So then I have like one of the skeins was blues, and then most of them were like greens and blues, and then there was one that was green and purple. So there's purples in there. So I just ended up spinning it. I'm not spinning it, weaving it, and I did a 2 twill. So I'm gonna hold this up close so you can see. And on a 4 shaft loom, you can do like different designs. So you see how there's like a diagonal thing. So that's what the 2 twill is. Like you could do a 1 or 2, and you can make that zigzag if you wanted, but I didn't. I just wanted it to be kind of plain, to show off the fabric. I mean, to show off the yarn more with the stripes than with the twill. Anyway, so I made it and I was debating like cutting it and sewing it maybe into like a poncho, like those ponchos. But I ended up just finishing the ends and twisting the ends and then just making a shawl. And I can like use it as a wrap or wrap it around like a use a
pin.
So anyways, that's what I made, and it's super warm. And I wore it yesterday. It was so much fun. So yeah, but it's like 7 feet long.
That's long.
Like probably
how wide is it?
Well, I did the full reed. So like it was the 10 dent reed that I used. So I did almost the full reed. I originally had it the whole thing, but then I was like, I took out like 16 or 8
on each side.
On each side, because it was just too much. So it's about 17 inches wide.
Okay, that's pretty big.
Yeah. So but it turned out really nice. I might still decide to cut it and sew it, because I saw on Pinterest, this one lady had this a woven thing, and then she like just had a turn in it like this, and then she sewed the edges to make like a poncho with a turn in it. So like you wore it more like a poncho rather than a cowl. So I thought that was really cool, but I haven't decided if I'm going to cut it.
You could make another one and do it that way, so you have options.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I used up most of the one green.
Oh, okay.
Like I tried to. I mean, I could, but I used handspun, one, because I have a lot of it and I want to use it all, and two, because Andy's been making comments like, you have so much, so I'm trying to use handspun a lot.
Yeah,
I like to handspun, but I mean, it just sits there. So I need.
Yeah, I have a wall of handspun that like I try, and I do knit with it, but like it's so easy to spin, but it's hard to gift or to use, or like it's not always something I want to gift away. Like if someone doesn't know how to take care of wool, I'm not gonna like give them my handspun, you know. So I feel you. I wish I knew more people that would use the handspun.
So I think I'm gonna spin more. Like I kind of wish I had a wider loom so I could spin, not spin, weave like bigger, like wider things, and then like
blanket.
Yeah. Or like I saw on Mood's website, they have patterns, and they have a pattern for this really cool jacket that I think would look really cool if like you wove the fabric. But my 20, it's like about 17 inches wide, is not wide enough for like that kind of thing. Like I could make ponchos and purses and stuff like that, maybe a skirt, but it's not wide enough. But I don't really have room for a wider loom either, so yeah. Anyways, that's my weaving. Oh, so then on Small Business Saturday, which I'll talk about more about what I got on that day, there's this new, so I was on Facebook. There's a process to my talk. I'll finish it quick. I was on Facebook, I think in the fiber equipment and more for sale. I was just scrolling and it popped up this place called Hook and Shuttle. And I was like, that's in Wisconsin. I wonder how close that is to me, because I'm still looking for a yarn store or a fiber store. And so I clicked on it, and it was like a half an hour away, which is very close.
Yeah.
Because I used to, when we lived in Pennsylvania, I would drive an hour to a yarn store. So this was closer. It was way closer. So I went and I got one of these because I've been using a credit card that I cut a notch out of. And I was just like, I want a real one. So I got that. But that was cool. Anyways, that's all the weaving. I'm going to now move us along so we get going. Sorry, I was talking forever.
Totally
binging. Have you been binging any books or TV shows?
Oh, just all the Christmas movies, which is really pathetic. But we started back in like November.
It's good.
Just watching them all. So it got me through. I've been sewing. So I'm going to say this here because, well, I guess we're in binging, but it's kind of randomness. I was watching all the Christmas movies because I was making Christmas gifts, and my teacher gifts this year is bowl cozies. This is like half of them. Oops. I'm like, here's a whole nother bin full of them. But yeah, so I made over 100, which is a little excessive. I'm going to have extra, for sure.
You think?
But just all different patterns. I went and bought, like, I forget how many different things of fabric, but I bought a yard of each when it was on sale, and I just cut them all out and went to town. Actually, I took them to a crafting retreat that I went to and measured and cut and all that stuff and did all the steps, and then I just had to like place them together and sew them and then turn them and top stitch them at home. But I did all that while watching Christmas movies, lots of them.
That's cool.
but they're finally done. So anyway, so that's what I've been watching. I'm trying to think what else. The kids are in school, so like they have homework and sports and stuff. So we haven't really been watching stuff together. Like we just don't have time in the evenings. But yeah, so what about you? What are you binging?
So I actually have been reading a lot because I made a ton of rope balls. I had a bulk order, and then I had those shows that I talked about online, and the rope balls usually go really well. So I've been listening to books. So I finished Magical Midlife Madness, which I really liked. And then I read the other series again, like reread the whole series. And then I won on Halloween. On Facebook. I'm in a paranormal women's fiction group. It's really awesome because it's stories that people write, like urban fantasy, obviously, but the difference is it's not 20 somethings or teenagers. They're women who are like 40 and older. So on Halloween, they had like a bunch of giveaways going on, and I like try to comment on the giveaways because it's a free book. And I won this book called Second Chance Magic. It was the first book in a series. It was really good. And I won the actual Kindle book, like the book. So I actually read a book.
Ooh.
Not that it's not reading audiobooks, but I like read that book, and I won it, and I read it at like night because I have a Kindle. So I couldn't sleep one night because that's part of when you get older. Sometimes you just can't sleep. Menopause, that's fun. So I couldn't sleep, and I just didn't feel like getting up. So I just rolled over and grabbed my Kindle, and I started reading the book. And I like sat there and I stayed up way too late and read the whole book that night. It was good. So then the next night I really couldn't sleep too. So then I had been reading this Runaway Fate book by Elizabeth Hunter, which is another book that I won in the same group. And I finished that one. And then during that time, there was like a lot of times authors in that group, at least, they'll like, oh, when you interested in reading my books? Here's the first one free. Like they do it for everyone, not just people in the group. So the Michelle Pillow, who wrote the Second Chance Magic, which it was really good and funny. She wrote this book called, she has this book series called the Mcgregor Warlocks. They're Scottish. And normally I try to read with like from the female point of view, but this one was from the guy's point of view. But it was really cool. It was the book was called Love Potions, and that's another one that I read like really quick. Also read. So yeah, but then on Black Friday, Audible had a bunch of books for sale. So I'm not going to use my credit that I get every month on something less than $14 because that's what I pay for it. But they had a bunch on sale, so I bought like a couple of books. And one is called Witching for Grace, and it's a new one of those paranormal women ones. But I'm not sure if I like it. I just started it, but it's an audiobook I'm reading, and that's what I'm reading. So watching, I've been binge watching iZombie and Castle and Pokemon with Aspen because he likes Pokemon when we're not watching Sesame Street or Scooby-Doo. But I also have been watching Doctor Who, which this season is really good, but it's Jodie Foster's Jodie, is that her name? Jodie Whittaker. Her last season, which she's only been around for like 3. This is her 3rd season, maybe. Anyways,
I haven't seen any of those.
I'm sad. So I don't want to do any spoilers, but a couple of seasons ago, there was an episode where she was saving the planet from someone, and she met this other character who they were after her husband, and then she like went to this lighthouse, and there was one of those time watches, and it ended up that this other lady was the doctor, but the doctor we know didn't remember anything. And we're like, what the heck? So they've brought this other doctor back. The actress's name is Jo Martin, and she's like amazing. So they brought her back, and I'm kind of hoping, and basically she's like a doctor before all the doctors,
Oh.
is from what I gather. I'm kind of hoping that because this is Jodie Whittaker's last season, I'm kind of hoping this is like total speculation. I don't know if they're going to do this, but I'm kind of hoping they do like a prequel season and take Jo Martin's doctor and like use her and like tell her story, because we're kind of getting parts of it, but we're getting it from the 14th doctor's point of view. Like, she doesn't remember anything, she doesn't know any of like what's going on, because they took her memories. Like obviously her memory's been like newfangled or whatever, and I like really hope they go and do like prequel season, because they could do so much, and they don't have to like stay in the line of the 14 doctors. They could go totally different directions. I don't know. I think it would be really cool. Plus, I really like Jo Martin's doctor personality. Like, we've only seen her a little bit, but I like her. And I just think it would be really cool. Anyways, that's my personal opinion on that. So yeah, I finished watching The Circle again and Only Murders in the Building, which is a really good show. If you haven't watched it on Hulu, watch it. It's hilarious. And I saw on Netflix they got a new season of Lost in Space and Lock and Key that I need to go watch. But I too have been watching Christmas movies. Like, some of them I've watched already, so I don't want to watch them again because they're all the same basically.
They are.
But I watched a new one with Brooke Shields on Netflix. That one was really good. And it was funny because Jessica messaged me like, look, they're knitting. And I was like, oh yeah, we watched that last.
That was cute. They had like a knitting circle, and like they kept coming up, and they were knitting all the time and yarn bombing and stuff. And I'm like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Brooke Shields, because that was the main actress in the show, I think she is actually a knitter.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so we are talking randomness now.
Yeah, sorry.
So there's so much happened in the past month. Like, we went to the zoo for Bella's birthday. Bella is in theater production at the school, so she does a lot of stuff. Well, we went and watched her friends in Clue, which was really fun. Like, if you ever get a chance to go to a high school's theater of Clue, it's really a fun show to watch. And then she was in one called Archipelago, which for their theater thing, what they do is they have to do a show in under 40 minutes, and it's like a competition. And so they did this one called Archipelago. It dealt with like some really serious topics, like they were in a gulag, and it was just really good. And then last night they had their Christmas one, which was the best Christmas pageant ever, but it was like a radio show. But Bella was the mom who was like the director of this new pageant. So she was like on stage a whole lot. So it was really cool. And we went to that last night. It was so fun.
That is so funny because she used to be so shy.
Well, she always said she wanted to be an actress. And I guess I told her at one time, it doesn't happen for everyone that way, because she like loved Hannah Montana and all that stuff. And I'm like, it doesn't really work that way. And so sometimes she was like, I wish we would have moved wherever so I could be an actress. I'm like, we're not moving to California so you can be an actress. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, I mean, like, you see some of it happen for people, but it doesn't happen to real people, like in real life. But anyways, so she always likes to do that. But yeah. And we went and saw me and Andy went and saw Eternals. It's really good.
Okay.
And then we went and saw Ghostbusters, which is also really good because T-Mobile, we are T-Mobile, and every Tuesday they have different things. And the one deal for Ghostbusters was you got $4 movie tickets. So we did that for really cheap.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet, but not today. Next Friday, we're going to go see Elf the musical by our local theater company. I'm very excited about that.
That's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. Because I love Elf the movie. That's like one of my favorites. But like we've been really busy. Like Truben had finished up his soccer season over the past month or so. And Chloe had volleyball, and now Chloe and Leah are both in basketball. Truben, for some reason, did not want to play basketball this year.
Yeah, we went to that one soccer game and it rained. It was so crazy.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, we were like driving home completely soaking wet. But yeah, that was fun. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what all we've done. We've just been busy. Joe switched to first shift finally the past week or two, which has been an adjustment because he's like home at nights now, which he never has been. Like, we've been married for 19 years. I forget what we said. But like, he's always had a split shift or second shift or whatever. Like, so yeah. It's all new. But actually, I think I'm finally not waking up when he gets up in the morning, or because he'll get up at like 4 or 4:30, and like at the first week, I was like waking up every single time and like I could hear him do everything. So I think I'm finally getting used to it and sleeping through it and not waking up till I need to get up.
That's good.
Yes. But I'm still tired. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But let me think. What else? Yeah, we had Thanksgiving. We had people here. It was great. It was fun. Trying to get the house ready for Christmas. You can have even more people here. It's going to be a little insane, but fun. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a lot more to talk about too.
Oh, well then go ahead.
So I mentioned how I went to Hook and Shuttle on Small Business Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were having sales and we were there, and I wanted to go because they had looms and fiber and, you know, like that kind of stuff besides just yarn. Because a lot of times you go to a yarn store and it's just yarn, but this one was yarn and fiber and all that stuff. So we went there and they had sales. So I got some yarn. So first of all, Bella saw this hanging and she's like, I want you to knit me some, she's like, I want that yarn. Can you knit me a hat? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm still knitting you those socks. And you complain about it, but I can give you a pattern. You know how to knit. So she's going to make sock head out of this. And it's like really pretty. Like, it's like an orange, black, and like teal. The color is called Variable Neon Slug, but it's like really pretty. And there's some like speckling on it too. It's really cool. So she's going to make herself a hat out of that. And then while we're standing there, Andy's like, oh, that's cool. I was like weaving my scarf at the time. Like, it was, I just pulled it off the loom, or it was getting ready to be pulled off the loom. So Andy's like, can you make me a scarf? I'm like, yeah, I can weave you one because it'll go really fast. So he picked out this one, which is called Iron Pyrite. I don't know if you can see. It's like it's like a gray, green, brown, and like orangey brown, like a rust color, and then blue. And then he was going in my weaving book and picked a pattern that he wanted on it. I haven't looked at it. And then I saw this yarn. Look at how cool this yarn is.
That's fun.
This one is called Bobtail Squid, and it has like speckles and grays. And normally I'm not an orange or yellow person, but with the teal and the greens, I don't mind it. And the blues. And then I got this, like, it's like a dark teal. They call it succulent green, to go with it. I'm not sure if I'll knit or if I'll weave something with it. I might try a houndstooth weave with these two. So I got all of that. And I've been really good. I haven't like bought much. And the reason I got the stuff for Andy is a lot of my colors are like greens and purples and pinks
and sparkles.
Yeah, and sparkles.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really have like this is my colors and what I have in my spinning and my sock yarn. So there you go. That's my stash enhancement for Small Business Saturday. So that's not the end of what I have to talk about. So I've been sewing. Obviously, I sew for my business, but Bella has been wanting pants. So I went on, if you go on Mood Society, it's their Mood from like Project Runway, their blog. They have, I want to say at least 100 free patterns, maybe more. So I printed out this sock pants pattern because Bella has these pants that she loves, but there's a hole in the butt and she got paint on them just the other day. So I made her some pants. I adjusted the pattern. I added back pockets. So they're wrinkly because she wore them. And I added elastic on the bottom because the pants that she just loves have elastic on the bottom. But look, they have a button and I made the buttonhole.
I am so impressed.
I know. The machine did all the work. And there's a zipper.
But you followed a pattern that's more intricate than, I mean, I don't doubt you. I'm impressed. Like, I don't think I could make something like that.
Yeah. But it was really easy to do. I did do the pockets a little wrong. So this one you can get your hand in and the pockets on the front, but this one you can get 3 fingers in. I mean, but this was just the thing. And I even did darts. Like, look, there's darts in the back. So I think I'm going to sew this one again. And she said it's a little big, so I might take it in a little bit. Like yesterday I just watched a tutorial on grading patterns, which is like taking your measurements and then making it fit you.
Yeah.
I watched a whole video on it and I subscribed to that podcast channel on YouTube because they have a ton of information. So I made these pants for Bella. So here's the cool thing. So this fabric is like a pants material, like a woven. It's not stretchy. I got it at Walmart they have like those bonus or those bargain bin fabrics, and it was like $4 for 2 yards, like in a
That's
thing.
crazy.
So I got that. I got a black one. Like I was looking because a lot of times they have knits, which I bought knits from them too, because it's like 4 yards for $4 or 2 yards for $4, depending on what it is. It's a really good deal. So I got some knits to make myself some like clothes, which is also why I was watching that grading thing, because my measurements aren't a standard size. And it's just about making clothes that actually fit that you like to wear. Right. So I made these pants for Bella. And then when I went to Joann's to look for jeans material, because I have a pattern to make jeans, not from Mood. I bought it from Rad Patterns. It's like a PDF. You get the pattern in PDF. But it's like jeans, because I'm so sick of going to the store and trying to find jeans that fit. And I get them what I think is my size, and they're either too tight or too big, and they just fall off of you, and they're so baggy. So I like got a pattern to sew my own, because I originally got it in the summer to make shorts, because I was sick of going and finding just like those ripped shorts and like super booty shorts, which then your legs stick to anything you sit down on.
I hate that.
That's the old person in me talking. But I wanted to make like capris, and I couldn't find any capris that I liked. The same point with the jeans not fitting. So I went to Joann's to see if they had jeans material, which they do, but they have, every time you get a coupon for like 40 or 50% off, they put everything on sale so you can't use it. So it was on sale like 25% off. So I was like, I want to use my good coupon, like 40% off, to get this jeans material. And so I didn't buy it, but I was there with Aspen, and he watched The Mandalorian with Andy once, and he's obsessed with Grogu, obsessed. Like he saw that Pop Funko, like we were walking around Joann's and there was a Pop Funko, and he was like, baby, he calls it baby. He was like, baby, like he was like freaking out, like wanting, like, no, but I will go buy some fabric and make you pajamas. Aww. So I got this Grogu fabric, and then Madison couldn't find his pajamas, so I was like, I can make him some. So I quick made him these pants.
So cute.
And they're super soft. And this is the Walk the Plank PJs. And then I added elastic at the bottom just so they fit him. They're actually a little big on him. So I think the next time I make the pajama pants, I might.
The legs are so wide. I wish they were.
I think I'm going to like grade in. Like that's another reason why I was watching that grading thing, because I'm like, they're so wide. I don't want them to be that wide.
I know.
So yeah, so I made that, but now I want to sew all the things, and you can't tell, but behind me I have a bunch of patterns that I taped, because you get the PDFs and you have to tape them all together, and normally I tape them with like Scotch tape, and then I go through with my clear packing tape and tape them, but I ran out. So the last couple of patterns I printed, I'm just waiting. Those the kid ones. I also went and found this cute little like button-up shirt pattern for little boys, like because you gave me some fabric from
my friend Carla,
and in there was some Thomas the Train fabric, but it's cotton, which these you can make with cotton too. Maybe that's why they're so wide, because if you make them with cotton and not flannel, they would need to be wider. But anyways, I think I'm gonna make him like a button-up shirt with the Thomas fabric. I don't know. There's so many things that I want to make, but there's also like shirts that I want to make myself. I'm like wanting to sew all the things. Like, and I've been kind of waiting until I had some like free time. So yeah.
That's exciting.
But while I was at Joann's, I got this Vogue knitting. It's Michelle Obama. She knits. Awesome. Isn't that awesome? So cool. And I like read it, and it's a really cool interview. I guess they have a 14-year-old girl that writes, and she
for Vogue.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But it was just really cool. And then they talk about stuff, and then I have some. I'm going to show you some of the patterns. Normally I don't buy Vogue, because a lot of times
I never have
in the past their patterns only go up to a certain size. They don't go up big enough for me. And sometimes, but that's in the past. And sometimes I just don't like their designs, because normally when I buy magazines, I want to buy for the patterns. But this one I bought because it was Michelle Obama. I mean, come on, you guys, that's awesome. But one thing that I noticed, they now have like a plus size model.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they go up to way more sizes.
Good.
But like, look at this one. I don't like bugs, but I really like that sweater. Look at that.
Oh, bugs. That's cool.
And then I don't think I would knit it though, make it, because I kind of like cardigans because I get really hot. But look at this sweater.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. And then I like marked the ones that I actually really like. Not that I don't like them. Look at this brioche knit one. I really like that one.
That's pretty.
Wait, which way am I going? This way? Yeah. I really like that one. Though I think I would use different colors. But that one's really cool. And then this one, I don't know if you can see it. It's just an open.
Yeah.
It looks patterned if you look at it on this side.
Oh, okay.
And then
type of thing.
Like, I guess I just like cardigans. There was one more thing I liked. Oh, this stripy sweater.
That's cute.
Yeah. So, and it's like an oversized t-shirt like sweater, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so super awesome. So cool. Anyways, then I didn't buy anything else.
This is what happens when we don't podcast for 2 months.
I know. So I was on Instagram, and you can shop from Instagram now.
What?
You can.
I did not know that.
You can. I was looking at one of the people I follow is called they're called Michelle's Fiber. I bought from her from is it Michelle's or Mitchell's? It might be Mitchell's. Let me look. Yeah, Mitchell's Fiber Arts. Mitchell's C Fiber Arts. She Zombie Knit Apocalypse 2 years ago when it was all online, she had they had the vendors like do like an hour show, and I watched hers, and she had some amazing colors. And so I bought some fiber from her, but so I was looking, and I started following her on Instagram, and she posted she has some colorways that she dyed from that Jingle Jangle movie on Netflix, which is such a cute movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But then I was looking in her shop, and look at this. It's her CBD collection. I want to knit.
Other way. There you go.
I want to knit a sweater out of this yarn. Look at how pretty it is. It's like greens. Like, it's kind of washed out on the screen, but greens with purples. Let me see if I can put my backlight up and see if it works. Or maybe put my backlight down. I don't know. It's so pretty, but I put it on my wish list because you can make a wish list. It's just when you you click that flag, but it's so pretty. That's on my wish list because that whole set is like 100 something, 146, but it would be well worth it because it's like 5 skeins of beautiful yarn. I love the colors in that one.
They're pretty.
I know. So the first one's like a bright green, and then it goes to like a teal green, and then it's a blue and like moss green together, and then it's like a purpley green, almost like when you see like the like copper when it starts to go to that blue or green, and then sometimes they get like a purpley in them. It's so pretty. Anyways, so that's on my wish list. Yeah, but she shared her pictures from she shared this one, which is also green.
Surprise.
I know, but it's so pretty. Like, her colors are so beautiful. So yeah. But anyways, that is everything I'm talking about. I should stop. And we've been talking for over an hour, and I'm sorry, everyone. We should podcast. We're now podcasting every month, so it should not be this long.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm going to let you go.
Happy December. Merry Christmas early, because we won't see you till January.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.